Hello everyone, greetings from Extra Marks. Today we are going to understand how to operate Extra Marks interactive flat panel. So behind me you can see the 65-inch LED panel, which is a self-compact tool readily available in the market, eliminating the maintenance cost of additional speakers, projector, CPU, etc. because it has inbuilt speakers at the bottom, Wi-Fi and hotspot connectivity at the back. And if you want to use any external device, we have different ports available. We have USB, we have touch port and HDMI port readily available for the user. Coming to the screen, this is a complete touch screen panel which is very durable in nature, so you can easily place it in the classroom. You can see on the screen there are various tabs available. Let us explore each feature one by one. Now first and foremost, we can see this bubble here. Now this is the suspended window option. We also call it a shortcut floater. If you click onto it, it has different shortcuts readily available for you. As a user, if you are using a particular application more often, you can also add that by using this plus button, or you can edit the existing options as well. So you can customize it based on your requirement. Another feature that you can see that on the edges we have these arrows. If you click onto it, the options will unfold. So you have home screen option, you have settings, you have this option wherein you can see all the source which are there. So you have OPS, HDMI, etc. There's another option in the bar itself wherein you can see all the open files, all the open applications at one place, and you can close it or open it as per your requirement. Similarly, on the side panel, we have an option to annotate. If you click onto it, the annotation option will appear. So here you can see that this annotation tool that has appeared on the screen. Now as a user, I can write anything. So let's change the color first. So I'm using green color, and I can also change the thickness of the pen using this bar. So let's try and writing on the board. Now as a user, if I want to remove it, I have the eraser button here. If I want to clear the entire screen, I have the clean button here. If I want to save it, I can save it immediately. If I want to share the same file with different people, I have the sharing option wherein a QR code will appear and people can scan and use the content immediately. Next is to exit from this tool. So when you try and exit from the annotation tool, it will ask you to save the file. It is up to the user if they want to proceed and save it, or they want to exit from the file itself. Now coming to this home screen again, you can see there are various buttons readily available. First and foremost is the setting tab. So if I click onto settings tab, all my settings option will unfold in front of me. I have my general settings, internet settings, associated devices, display, sound, timer switch, storage, date and language, and factory reset options readily available. In the general settings, I can also see how to create a password and lock on my screen. I can also remove or enable the suspended window. I have these sidebars options available, centralized control available. So these are the options that a user can utilize from the settings option. Now the second option that you can see is OPS PC. By clicking onto you can directly jump to the Extra Marks content. Next we have files. If you click here, all your folders will be readily available at one place. So anything and everything that you're saving will be categorized under different folders, and you can utilize the content accordingly. Similarly, as a user, if you have used any external device, those folders will also appear in the file manager itself. So here as a user, you can see all the documents, images, media and applications file here itself. Now coming back to the previous page, there are two options you can do. Either click onto the suspended window, you can go to the home screen, or you can click onto the back arrow. So if I click onto the home screen, here we are back to the home screen itself. Another option that we have is customize. So here we are giving you an option wherein you can use your favorite application as a tool here itself. So if I click on customize option, I can select any of these applications which will be readily available on the desktop itself for my future references. So let's say if I want to add Google Play Store. So now this icon has appeared. Similarly, if I want to change and I want to add another application, I need to click onto it. I need to long press onto this. I can cross it from here, and then again customize option will appear for the user. So I can again click on to customize, select the relevant application and create a shortcut for the same. So another tab that you can see on the screen is the whiteboard option. Now we are going to experience it one by one. So if I click on whiteboard here, the interface will change. This is how the whiteboard looks like, and you can see there are various buttons available at the bottom. We are going to experience these tools one by one. First and foremost, the option that we have is multiplayer writing. So when we have enabled this particular feature, you can see there's a palm here. That means that at one point of time, more than one person can write on the screen. So I'll try and show you how multi-touch can happen, how we can simultaneously write on the whiteboard. Now in order to check the other option, single player writing, we need to click onto this palm only, and you can see that the icon has now changed. I am going to showcase this to you, but let me first add another page by clicking onto this plus sign. So if I click here, now this is the second page of the whiteboard. Now single player writing is selected, pre-selected. Now if I use my entire palm, let's say I'm writing something, I have written my name here, and if I use my palm, it will zoom in and zoom out the entire content. You can scroll up and scroll down based on my requirement. This is how single player writing will work. Another option that we have is this pen option. If I click onto it, this will give me various writing options. For example, I have two kinds of pen, S and B, which is small and bold. I need to first select from the small section. I need to select the pen size, preferably I'll pick a thinner size. I need to select the color that I may like to use on the board. So let's go with red here. Now if I choose the second option, you can see that I have folded my stylus because this has a thicker edge. You need to again select the pen size. So I'm trying to keep it maximum. So this is the thickness that I have picked, and let's say the color that I'm choosing is green. Now I have pre-selected everything. In case as a user you want to explore more colors, you have this tab available. You can basically change the color accordingly, but as of now we are going with green only. So I'm going to demonstrate this to you. So when you're using a small or thinner pen, it will write in red color. However, once you change the thickness, it will write in different color altogether. So this is how it is going to work. Now another option that we have is the eraser option. So you have two options. Either you can select the content that you want to erase and it will be vanished, or you can simply go to the slider here and the entire content of the screen will be vanished. Let's say as a user I am writing something. Now because this is a complete touch screen panel, your hand gestures will also work. So I can just use my palm to erase the content. So that is another way to use eraser. Now let's go back to the previous page. So I have these arrow bars here. If I want to jump to the previous sheet, here we are. Let's say I want to select a specific section and want to erase it. Now we have space here. Now the next feature that we have is the selection bar. If this is the icon for the same. Let's say if I write something on the board, by using this tool, I can select the entire content. Now as a user, I can either rotate this content I can increase or decrease the size. I can copy it and I can delete the same. Let's say if I have selected this content and I want to change the color, I can choose from the bar, I can change the color accordingly. So here we are. So these are the features that you can utilize. Now another feature that we have here is to add image or insert image in the whiteboard itself. So you can see there are different images that we have. I can go to the catalog or the picture. Let's say I'm going with this one picture that is out there. Now I've selected it. I can copy the same. I can resize it. I can rotate the same. Or if I want, I can delete it. So this is how you can insert a picture that is already there in the file folder itself. Coming to the next segment that we have, to insert shapes. So these are the different kinds of shapes that are available. So first and foremost, we have 2D images. So let's say if I want to insert a circle, I can do that. If I want to insert a line, I can do that. If I want to maybe increase or decrease the thickness of the pen, I can do that as well. Another option is the 3D images. So let's say if I want to insert a 3D image, this is how it will look like. Let's say I do not like the color of this particular image. All I need to do is I need to select it using the selection icon, and now here I can change the color. So whatsoever I want to pick, I can actually change the color. So going with green here, coming back to the shapes. Now another option that we have is the mathematical tools. So we have table, we have protector, we have scale, ruler, etc. So if I click on to this, let's say I want to insert this particular table. Now this is the table for me, but let's say I want to edit it. I do not want this many columns or rows. So I need to make the selection using the selection icon. Here we are, and you can see these plus and minus signs here on every column and row. So accordingly, I can either add something or I can remove the same. So this is how I can make changes. Same way, similarly, we can also change the color of the table. I can copy the same, I can zoom in and zoom out, and I can delete the same. Coming back to the shapes and circles. So here we are. So another option that we have under shapes only is to use the compass. So for this you need to draw a line, and then accordingly you can mark the angle. So these are some of the tools that are readily available. Along with this, we have redo and undo button. So if I want, I can just simply click onto it. With that, let us explore all the different options that are there. So now we are going to experience these features which are here in the corner. Now the first and foremost tool that you can see is this inverted tool. The same icon is available this side as well. So we are going to cover both of them right now. So you can see that these icons on the right and left will now interchange if I simply click onto this icon. Here you are, you can see that now these icons have been changed. You can see that now these are the options on my right hand side which were earlier there on the left hand side. So again, if I click onto this icon, these icons will then further interchange. Second option is this plus sign, wherein I can add a sheet. I can add a whiteboard sheet here. All my sheets are listed here itself. So by clicking onto this arrow, I can just move ahead or I can go backward accordingly. So these are the arrows that I can work upon. And lastly, if I want to delete a specific file, I need to click onto it. I can delete that page. So if I confirm this, that page is now deleted. So we have already experienced these features. Now we are going to cover these features one by one. This is something that we have already covered. Now we are going to experience these two tools that are available. First and foremost is this business tool. If I click onto it, these many folders, these many features will be available. If I click onto this business folder, these tools will appear in front of me, and we are going to experience this one by one. So let's move to a different worksheet altogether. So if I click here, here we are on a different worksheet, we are on a different whiteboard sheet. Let us write something here. Now if I click onto this business tool, and if I click on the very first icon that is there, here we are. So I can just highlight a specific part of the board. I can either have a square or a circle available. So let's say if I want to highlight this specific part only, hello there. So this is how I can highlight. Coming back to the business tool, now another option that we have is the curtain option. As a user, as a teacher, whenever you are not teaching, you can put a curtain on your whiteboard. Now if you want to reveal a certain part of the whiteboard itself, you need to click onto these arrows. So let's say if I click here, my whiteboard will appear. So I am just partially showing the board. Similarly, if I click here, I can show the board. If I click here, this is how you can use the curtain feature. Clicking onto this box sign again, the next option that we have is the magnifying glass. If I click onto it, I can simply magnify a specific thing that I've written. So this will magnify it. Coming to the box again, another feature is the calculator feature. So you can use the calculator on the board while you're teaching. So you can use the calculator as one of the feature. Next option in the tool itself will be the calendar tool. As a user, I can also add events to my calendar. I can display the same here for everyone's reference. Now coming back to the tool again, the next feature that we have is this Chrome tab. Let's say while teaching I want to showcase a specific image from the Chrome itself. I can simply click onto this. Now this is the Chrome tab. Let me just resize it for your reference. So I've resized it. So here you can see that I have displayed a content here, process of photosynthesis, and simultaneously I can write on the whiteboard about the same. So this is how you can utilize the content. Now the next option that we have in the tools is this plus folder. If I click onto it, I can simply open a PDF or a document that is already there in the system. Last feature that we have under this tool is the timer. If I click onto it, this is how the timer will appear. I can run this timer in the class to increase the competitive spirit. Now another feature that we have is this particular icon. If I click onto it, these many tools will unfold. First and foremost, it will ask me to exit from the file. It will prompt me if I want to save this file before exiting. If I click on yes, I can either change the name, I can save as trace, I can save as picture, I can save as PDF, etc. So based on my selection, I can save this particular file. Clicking onto this icon, the next is the information tab. So here you can see the version of this specific whiteboard. Then the theme option. So here you can change the background of the whiteboard. I can pick any specific color that I may like to use in the background. Apart from that, if I also want to change the background grid, these are the options that are available. So I can change the grid as well. With that, we have also given certain predefined templates. So if I go back to the themes, clicking on the background images, so here we have different kinds of themes available. These are the colors. As a user, if you want to add a specific image as your background, you do have that kind of option as well. Coming to the icon again, so the next option is the file folder. If I click here, I have these many whiteboard files readily available. So currently we have not saved any of the files, so we cannot see anything, but yes, all the files will be displayed here. Moving back, we have an option to share the content on the whiteboard itself. File creating 1/3, that means there are already 3 files of this whiteboard, 3 pages of this whiteboard, and now we are sharing these pages with the user. So there will be a QR code here which people can scan and use the content. I can also encrypt this particular QR code. I can set a password for the same for security reasons. Moving back, so we have an option to email this particular file as well. So I can add the address and I can send it across. Next, I can save this particular file. I can save it. This is the pathway, this is the name. Currently it is in PNG file. I can save it as PDF as well. Based on my preferences, I can make the selection. And lastly, I can enable split screen on my particular whiteboard. So here the whiteboard is now divided into 2 different screens. Let's change the color of these 2 screens. So I have all the tools readily available. If I go to the theme section, these are the colors. So let's say my first board will look something like this, and the grid will be this. Now coming to the next board, these are the colors. Let's say I will go with some subtle colors here, and I'll pick this grid. Now at the same time, 2 different people can write on different screens. So let's try and use that. So I'm using both the stylus here. So here we are. We can see that 2 different screens are available. I can save individual screens. I can delete these pages. I can share these pages as well. So based on my requirement, I can utilize the content. There's this exit tab in the middle of both the screens. So I can click onto it, and here we are on the previous page itself. So these are the basic features of Whiteboard. Let us proceed to the home page right away. In order to go to the home page, we need to click on the suspended window. We can click on this home screen, and here we are. The last option that we need to explore is the screen share option. If I click onto the screen share option, the system will prompt me the entire method to cast my screen on the LED itself. So let me grab my phone for this. So in order to cast my phone into it, I need to first scan this QR code, download the application, and once the application is now downloaded, I need to connect it from my phone. Now here you can see that this is now connected with the LED. I can mirror my screen here. So this is how my phone and the screen will look like. Now let's say if I want to share a picture, I can share this picture as well. Similarly, I can share videos and documents on the LED itself from my phone. If I want to mirror it again, I can mirror the same. If I want to use my phone as a remote, I can do that. So I have this remote control option. If I click onto this, now my phone will be used as a remote for this. So I can use buttons, I can use touch screen, I can use mouse. So I'm just showcasing you, this is the mouse. I can go to the edge panel, clicking onto it, and I can go to the home screen. So here we are. Let's say I want to explore some applications. So there's this application feature. I can click onto the application feature on my phone itself, and I can see all the applications that are readily available. So I can play YouTube video from my phone itself, using my phone as a remote for this specific LED. If I want to come back, I have this tab available. So this is all about our new interactive flat panel. Hope you like the video. Thank you so much.